Hey everyone, welcome to this week's transformation reading, where I've been taking a card from this deck that I'm working on with the creator. It's like an oracle deck. And we started off with stack number 1. There's actually 7 stacks. And this one has to do with the emotional fire within us and what emotional heat are we feeling. And we've been looking to see what the creator wants us to know. What emotion that's rooted in fear can we transform into unconditional love and joy and peace and laughter, our natural state. We only have 3 cards left in this deck, so of course, as we've been going over a card, I take it out of the stack, so we're getting down here, just a couple more weeks in this deck, and then we'll possibly move on to deck number 2. So creator, for this week, what emotion would you like us to look at here? Okay, focus this one right here. And we have the sadness card here. And, you know, of course, we've all felt this way, right? Especially over this last couple of years, we've had a lot of situations where we definitely have had an easy choice to feel sad if we so wish to here. And the story behind the sad feeling here, within every drama that we have in our lives, there's always 3 characters in a drama. We, of course, have the villain, you know, the one with the twisted mustache and the black top hat, you know, like in the old drama, the melodramas. And then, of course, we have to have the victim. The victim is the one that gets tied on the railroad tracks. And then, of course, you have the hero that comes in to save the day. Well, we come here to experience sadness, and we come here to experience what it might feel like, you know, to not feel the joy, which is our natural state. And so, you know, we have all these popular opinions on how we should feel about a certain situation. Or we have opinions all over the place of how things should be, are, you know, supposed to be, need to be, have to be, and all those things we're flooded with as we grow up, right? And we just take all these opinions, all these things on our own. And sadness basically is when our expectations of an event or a situation don't end up being what you know, what we are and what we have wanted. And so you know, one of the things that we're taught, which I believe is in the next stack or the one after, it talks about how we're taught to manipulate and get our way and try to control situations. And it's been passed on from generation to generation for thousands of years. So, you know, it's not something new, but it might be something that we're not aware of. And the 3 stages of manipulation are, the first one is to act hurt, to have sadness. Because when we are feeling that way, then other people, you know, because we're all taught that other people's emotions are our responsibility. Other people are like, oh no, don't be sad. You're supposed to be happy. So let me try to make you happy and try to make it better. And so when we act, hurt and sad and down, then the other people, you know, will get that attention. It's like negative attention, right? So people will go, oh, I'm sorry, don't cry. We'll give you what you want. We'll make it right. We'll correct the situation, right? Is usually what we try to do. And so that's stage 1. Stage 2, of course, is when the acting hurt and sad doesn't work. Then we go into the bullying stage, where we'll get angry and upset and demand that people, you know, make our situation right and that they do what we want, or that situation needs to be what we want. And then if that doesn't work, the 3rd stage is what we all fear, and what keeps us, you know, manipulated, and that's the fear of rejection. We all don't want to get rejected by our tribe or by others because we think that means something about us. And so it's beautiful because, you know, it's like you act sad, that doesn't work, and then you get upset, that doesn't work, and then you reject them. Like either hang up on the phone or give them the you know, cold shoulder treatment if you're living with them, the silent treatment. And if that doesn't work and get what you want, then you go back to square one and go back through. It's like, wash, rinse, repeat, right? You got this, so if you're rejecting them didn't work, then you can go, I can't believe that you didn't, try to reach back out to me, or you didn't try harder to get me to, warm up to you or to talk to you. I can't believe that, you're so sad. And then, you continue to get mad and then reject. And you go through those stages. So that, sadness, when we become aware of that, is how we have been manipulated. And you probably are going, wait a minute, I recognize this. And you see it, you just stop participating in the manipulation and you let them, cry or get upset or reject you. And you don't have to participate in it. You can still, be who you're going to be. You can still love the person, let them have their little, it's like a little kid in the store. They have a tantrum when they're not getting the toy they want. And then they get angry and start throwing things around. And then they stop talking to you and pout and turn away from you, and they'll continue that. And if we give in to all that manipulation, we just pass on that from generation to generation ourselves, right? So when you recognize it being done to you, you can start looking at going, wait a minute, how have I done that? And we don't know any better until you know. And now that you can do something about it, right? And I love what the Creator gives us on how to transform this sadness into, joy and peace and unconditional love and laughter. You become your own hero. So in your little melodrama, instead of acting sad because you want someone to rescue and give you attention, you give yourself that attention. You give yourself that love. You become the hero and you transform and you turn that frown upside down, right? You can smile then, smile, smile, smile. But it does have to do with turning inward. All the things on the outside world, there's going to be villains, there's going to be victims, there's going to be heroes when we're in the outside world of chaos and conditional love and that world. And we come here, we came to this theater to enjoy the show. So we are called up onto stage and we're interacting in the drama, but when we're ready, we can stop being, participating in that. If we're sick and tired of being sick and tired, if we're tired of being sad, we don't have to keep waiting for something on the outside to make us happy. We find happiness by turning inward and finding the unconditional love of the Creator of all things living right inside us. We connect to a higher place so we can see the world from a higher point of view, right? So that is what we are going to be able to focus on this week if we so choose. So at least we know that there is another option. Sometimes when we're in sadness and we feel like, oh, this is how I'm going to be the rest of my life, when you realize there is another choice and that power of that choice comes from within you, you can choose to not be sad in a situation that you've told is supposed to be sad. Like I mentioned in the beginning, there's opinions on how you should feel about situations, but you don't have to. You can change that just because it's what's popular and what's been, passed down from generation to generation, what you've seen in movies or seen in other life. It's like, okay, you've seen, there's some cultures when there's a funeral, people wail and they cry at the top of their lungs and they put on this show. It is this expression of loss. And then they go have a party afterwards because this is what they do, and then they do this. And other people just have this beautiful life celebration. They don't even, look at the situation as sad. They go like, that person is in, back into this beautiful place of unconditional love and peace and joy and laughter, where we come from. And you're like, yeah, we're going to miss their laughter and miss their physical presence, but they're not gone. They're just not in that rental vehicle walking around anymore. They, their spirit is still with us always. Because the ones we love, when we go to the other side, they're always with us every second of every day. In fact, the moment they leave their physical body, they can be anywhere and everywhere all at once. And so they can be with each and every single one of their loved ones all at the same time. They don't have to only be limited by being in the physical presence. They can be everywhere all at once. And so we can look at that and go, yeah, it's going to be different, but it doesn't have to be sad, right? And it's adjusting to that feeling of, okay, their presence just isn't here in the physical form, but let me connect higher, and I can connect, in this physical, in this spiritual way, in this, in a more deeper, and more consistent, and they're actually beings of unconditional love, so that maybe they're not going to be, that irritate you like they did before. So, anyway. I love this for us for this week, and just know as you're going through this week, every second of every day, you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things, and I love you too. I'm sure we'll be talking to you very soon. Until then, you take care.